Hello, ladies. Welcome to today's show. Actually, I should have put here Enlightened Moment too. I'm calling the shows now Enlightened Moment. I just think it's a cool name. But today's show, it's about, what is your root cause? It's a very important conversation in the world of hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's. And you're in this group because you are looking for that solution so that you can stop your symptoms. So if you're here, let me know if you are so I can say hi to you. Send me a message or any questions you want to ask me. I'm more than happy to answer it. That's Teddy right there. Wait, I can never do it. That's my Teddy boy. My doggy, he looks like a rat right now because they just took out all his hair. He's a coton de tulier. And when he needs to have his hair brushed every single day because it's like a cotton ball. And when it doesn't happen, it just gets all clogged up. And this time when he had his bath, the lady was just, I'm just going to have to shave him completely. And he looks like a rat and he's still sleeping as always. So if you're here, let me know and let's get started with this conversation. So what is the root cause of your Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism? This is a conversation that is going around everywhere as you're trying to look for solutions, as you're trying to help yourself, ladies. Stop the fatigue, right? Stop the exhaustion, stop all the symptoms that are debilitating for you that perhaps have been happening for a very long time, years. Most of the clients that come to seek me for my help is years in this condition of just having their life on hold, because you are being affected by your metabolism, by the fact that your metabolism is shut down. And so you can't lose weight, you are exhausted, you're dragging or you're pushing yourself through, you're probably getting things done, but at the cost of pushing yourself, or you're not getting anything done because you're dragging and you have just enough energy to go to work and then go back to your house and go to sleep. That's as far as much energy as you get. Or you get bursts of energy where you have blocks of energy that if you abuse it, then you're just shut down for a long time. Those are the patterns that happen. But you also have your hair falling out, you have digestive problems, you're having cold hands and feet, temperature sensitivity is very predominant for you. You feel that you're not a productive person anymore as you used to be. You're not as a happy person as you used to be. You're not, you're playing small in life. I guess that's the easiest way to call it out on how you ladies keep telling me how you feel. You're playing small, you're procrastinating, you're not doing what you want to do, you're not happy. And all of these symptoms are just part of your life every single day. And so you're looking for solutions, right? You're Googling, you're watching gurus, you are reading books, everything that's being thrown in your face right now, you're trying to do it because you want to get better. And most likely you've heard the conversation of what is your root cause? And this has become a problem. This is why I'm doing this live, because it has become a problem in the sense that the root cause is trying to be simplified. But sometimes in life, not everything is just that simple. It can be simplified, but it's not. It's complex, right? And the reason I say that is because you have probably heard that root cause may be something as simple as Epstein-Barr, right? Oh, Epstein-Barr is my problem. I had a conversation with a lady not so long ago who was seeking my help, and she says, Maria, I do know what my root cause is. And then I said to her, and I said, really, what is it? She was Epstein-Barr virus. That's what it is. I said, great. So why are you still feeling what you're feeling? Why are you still in the same place? And she couldn't answer that question because she had done the protocols for Epstein-Barr. She has done all the so-and-called things that you must do for Epstein-Barr, but she was still not feeling well. She was still dragging. She was still exhausted. She was still had no mental clarity to focus and do the things that she wants to do. So I said, hey, honey bun, how are you? Again, if you're joining me here, let me know who you are so I can say hi to you and we can have a conversation. Ask me any questions that you want. I'm more than happy to answer them. And so, or they say if it's not Epstein-Barr, it's like, oh, it's your stomach. It's your stomach. There's something happening with your stomach. You need enzymes. You need probiotics. You need bone broth. You need, what's the other things that people talk about root causes? Oh, it's PCOS, and it's estrogen dominance, and it's all these things that are just being thrown in there. And that sounds great, ladies, because that is perhaps a part of the conversation, but is not your root cause. It cannot be your root cause because of this. You are a dynamic human being. You're a woman, a dynamic woman. And as a dynamic woman, your root cause is going to be as dynamic as you. In the Align Health Experience, I call it, and I talk about that my secret weapon is the fact that I go through this process of what's called the dynamic women matrix. And it is to really put all the pieces of the puzzle together of your dynamic self. And so when you start thinking about your root cause as one thing, you're missing the point. And that's why when you don't understand your root cause of exactly what that is, you're going to be spending a lot of money on doctors. You're going to be going doctor to doctor without the answer because you're always not feeling well. You're going to spend a lot of money on supplements protocol for that Epstein bar or that thing, whatever that is, for a long term without getting the results. You're going to be buying, I don't know, whatever the thing is that it's calling the root cause is this is a one thing. And the worst part of all is that if you go do it that way and you try to focus as a one thing, this is the one. As I'm speaking, I realize I remember this one. This is a famous one that people love to talk about. My root cause is MTHFR mutation. I go, okay, great. So why are you still feeling the way you're feeling? Again, they're throwing all these things because that's what they're being taught, right? Like that's what the Google and the gurus, right, and the people who are throwing all this information at you, ladies, is saying, no, it's MTHFR, it's Epstein, it's this and that. And so what happens is if you go that route, and maybe you've already been that route, you're still feeling something and you're still feeling not well. You're still not working as your goal, as how you want to function. And it's because you haven't gotten to the root cause. You still don't understand your root cause. And if you don't understand your root cause, there's no clarity. And if there's no clarity, there's no roadmap. If there's no roadmap, there's no solution. There's no results. Okay? And that's so important for you to understand because you got to stop thinking in these boxes of thyroid and Hashimoto component. I talk a lot about this with the women that I speak to. And I always say, you ladies are not well for years. You're paying a big price to stay like this. And you're looking for a out-of-the-box perspective and out-of-the-box solution. And I say, and that's available. Absolutely, it's available. But in order for you to find it, you first have to get out of the box, ladies. If you're still in the box of, it's one thing, what is that one thing? What is that test? What is that supplement? What is that one thing that's going to heal me? Then you're in a box that you cannot possibly get out of the box mentoring support strategy because you're in a box of simplifying something that perhaps is more dynamic, and not perhaps, it is, because you're a human being. And so what happens is when you start putting yourself in a box, that out of the box thinking that's going to get you to solve your problems once and for all, it's not going to come to you because you're not ready for it. And if you're not ready to think like that, then you're going to pay the price for it. And the price may be financial, the price may be emotional, the price may be your life because it's on hold. And that's so important for you to take into consideration as you're doing this. Hey, Karen, how are you, my love? Says, I have Hashimoto's and my thyroid keeps leaning to hyperthyroid. Yeah, and sometimes you're going to go flip-flopping. You're going to go hypo, hyper, hyper, hypo. It kind of fluctuates in that. It's very common to see those things. But again, it's because you haven't found the root cause. You don't know with clarity what that is, and you don't have a roadmap that's effective, and you don't have a system that can support you at a high level until you solve it. That's it. That's all that it is. And so I'm here to tell you, ladies, that when you think about your root cause, I want you to consider yourself a dynamic woman and see yourself as the woman that God created you to be. You are not one thing. Certainly ask your husbands, ask your partners. There's always this description of women when they describe us. It's like a pilot airplane pod where they have where the pilots are, right? And so they have one button for the men and they have 25 buttons for a woman to understand how women function. Well, it's because we're so dynamic. And that's a great thing. I love that about us. I love the fact that we are that dynamic. But because we are that way, we need to be addressed that way. And so when I think of root cause and in the secret weapon of the Align Health Experience, of the dynamic women matrix, I talk about that in order for you to understand the root cause, you have to think about it in 3 ways. You have to think about it first and foremost is that your root cause starts with your story. Now, somewhere along the way, you were born. Actually, you're going to have a genetic susceptibility. If you have hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, Karen, you have Hashimoto's, means you had a genetic susceptibility that mom and dad gave you to have this. So it's already in your DNA. However, the expression of it was because of first, your life. What happened in your life up to where you are right now and your present moment. There's a story for you, Karen. There's a story for me. There's a story for every single woman that is in this conversation, in this group of overcoming Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism naturally. There is something that happened in your life that created a story for you. That is part of your story. It's part of your history, kind of a thing. That thing or things that happened along the way was created in that story, and two, it created a perception that you received it as a something. So we are meaning-making machines, humanity, human beings, women, especially us women. We love to make meaning out of things. We love to give labels of things, right? And so because we're meaning-making machines, we go through life giving meaning to life. And that meaning gives a perspective to us. And that perspective is going to be either positive or negative. It's going to really impact us. We're going to define it and label it in a specific way. Well, that story that happened and is happening to you right now, because you're still living, you're still alive, has created a perception in you in a specific way, positive, negative, a combination of more of one, more of the other, that created the third component of your root cause, which is cellular imbalances. This is where, sure, FC may be part of it, sure, MTHFR factor may be a part of it, sure, maybe hydrochloric acid not enough, sure, maybe. But that's just a part of the big equation of this, which is your root cause. And so what you need to stop doing is treating yourself as this one MTHFR thing or FC or whatever it is, because you're missing the story and the perception around it. And you're not really addressing you as that dynamic woman that you are. The moment that you start addressing yourself as a dynamic woman and honor that, you're going to start seeing those three angles very, very, very specific. And in there's going to be a lot of root causes that together make a big puzzle. That puzzle is creating a physical imbalance, which is nutritionally and physical, like cellularly, but it also created an emotional and a mental and a mindset component that is keeping you where you are right now, where your symptoms are. And that once you know the root cause, then the imperative part of it is to go and really make it what I call the path of exposing it, connecting it, releasing it, and healing it. Like all of that needs to happen in a very strategic and effective way for you to have succeeded in overcoming hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's. But it starts with understanding the root cause and really treating the root cause as a dynamic woman that you are. If you don't do it right from the beginning, if you don't get that clarity right from the beginning, nothing else matters. And it will explain why years have passed by and you still are where you are. You're either the same or worse. You're either just seeing your body degenerate over and over and over. You probably have lost jobs already because you can't keep up. You probably are going to lose your job because you can't keep up. You probably lost relationships. You probably got divorced because there was issues there. You probably are not being able to have a child because you're infertile and you've had many miscarriages. This is what hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's does, ladies. This is why it's so important to have these conversations, because it's not just like, oh, I just want to lose 5 pounds and I lose 5 pounds. It's beyond that. And somebody that is experiencing it like I did, like you are, could understand what I'm talking about. Sabrina, I had a teratoma tumor and hysterectomy 6 years ago. Within a year, was diagnosed with Hashimoto's. How do you find the root cause? David's, yeah, and by the way, surgeries, the typical surgeries of somebody with hypothyroidism, because again, hypothyroidism doesn't get discovered like this. It takes years before somebody can really open, because they're not doing it right, of course. And so what happens is women have gone through either they've removed their thyroid or they've been put on the medication of Synthroid, levothyroxine, or something else, or they've been put on antidepressants, or they've been having they've had a hysterectomy, or they have gallbladder removals. Those are very typical things that are happening to women like you guys, ladies, because you're not understanding the root cause. So go and work on that. Get very clear on what that is. And again, it's three things. Your root cause is incompensated of three things: your story, your past, and your present. 2, how you are perceiving that and how you perceived it. 3, the cellular imbalances that it created. That creates a physical, a nutritional, emotional, and mental chaos that now needs to be exposed. It needs to be connected. It needs to be released, and it needs to be healed. If it's not done that way, you're always going to have a symptom. And if you always have a symptom, it means you haven't started right from the beginning. Does that make sense? So I want you ladies to start looking at yourself in this way. Whoever it is that you want that is helping you, or that you want them to help you, have them consider you as a dynamic human being. If you're not being considered as a dynamic woman, you're missing the mark, you're spending money, you're wasting time and your energy in trying to get better. If you want my help, and if you're that somebody that considers your health a #1 priority, then what I want to do is invite you to have a conversation with me. What I do is complimentary conversations with women who are very committed to really resolving this. They're done and they're tired of being sick and tired. Their health is the #1 priority. They've spent years trying to help themselves and it hasn't worked out. And now they're looking for a new perspective. They're looking to really resolve this once and for all. We're not playing games here. We're solving problems. So if you consider yourself that person and that woman that really is serious about this and wants to solve this once and for all, and needs somebody with strategy to really connect the dots of all these puzzles as a dynamic woman that you are, then I invite you to have that breakthrough conversation with me. I'll put the link below. Karen, Sabrina, if you ladies are interested in that and how do you understand the root cause, we'll find out. In that call, I want to get very clear. The whole purpose of the breakthrough call is to help you break through. And breakthrough comes through clarity. What's not working in your health? Where is it that you're trying to go? And what's holding you back from really reaching that goal? So if you're interested, you're invited. You're more than welcome to put yourself on my calendar and request a breakthrough session with me. Ladies, have a great night. Hugs and kisses. God bless you. And keep on the work to get yourself better, to heal and overcome your hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's. Bye-bye.